It's a lot more shuttle cockpit kind of vibe than I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have it in sport mode.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit stiffer, but it's amazing how comfortable it is even in sport mode. So you could actually, if you wanted it to be a little softer, you could conceivably put it in just leave it out of sport mode.
Okay. And that's it's got active adjustment on the suspension.
Suspension, the steering, the
throttle, steering inputs, throttle inputs, everything. So it's like a 1-to-1 throttle on sport mode and stuff. Fantastic.
Exactly. Everything's drive-by-wire, and I can use, so instead of using that, I can use this.
Okay.
It shifts pretty fast.
Nice. And what tires do you have on here?
This has the stock Michelin Pilot Sport.
Oh, okay. That's a good tire to come with.
Oh yeah.
I figured if it's gripping this well in the wet with that acceleration, you know, I know you're probably going easy just because of the rain, but that's definitely a.
But it still has a good amount of grip, even though you know you're taking it easy. I mean, if you go, you can feel the pull. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, nice. Holy crap! I'm more impressed that it's not spinning at all. Does it have active traction control?
It does have traction control. I have some of it turned off.
Okay, like stability control and stuff, or okay.
So you can see the I have safety sense on. This is safety sense right here.
Okay.
And you can see up there. There's a little marker that's like. So for example, if I get close to the lane. It pushes me over that. It gives me a kind of.
Okay. It's got the active kind of control your steering kind of thing.
Exactly. I can turn that off if you don't like that, you can turn it off by leaving this, pushing this down.
So that's on sort of every time you start the car. That's like default on.
Default on. You might be able to program it off. Like you can program a lot of things off on this on the infotainment system.
Okay. And that's one of those things where, like, I've had rental cars that do the lane assist, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to drive here. Stop.
Let me drive this.
Exactly.
I need your help. Right? Exactly.
It's actually really quiet in here too. Like it's not like a noisy kind of chassis.
Or in the tires, you know, and these are really nice and grippy tires, but they, you know, typically grippy tires make a lot of road noise.
Right. Yeah. So, I guess they're soft enough to absorb some of that.
Yeah. But even, you know, like race tires, race tires will typically have a lot of noise. A lot of noise. And then you get to hear it go by. Yeah. So it's a fun car. I mean, here we are in the rain, and we have all that power and all that torque, but it's a composed chassis.
Right.
You know, and conceivably, when you're at the racetrack or you want to do drifting, you can turn everything off.
Right. So you can actually go at it and be able to override all that stuff to still have a good time. Yeah.
It's called dyno mode, or it's called dyno mode. In some cars, they call it. Let me turn this down a little bit. Or some call it diagnostic mode.
Okay.
For Toyota, they call it dyno mode. So when you go on the dyno, you don't want to have
traction control going off.
Exactly, because you're slipping on that.
Slipping on the rollers. There's the traction control right there. That's a really smooth traction control, actually, because normally, like, because I have the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, and if you have that traction control on at all and you start slipping, it cuts like 95% of your throttle.
Oh, really?
It feels like you just, like, I've had people, you know, like break engines when they modify it because they have full boost and all of a sudden their throttle just cuts off entirely, but they're still like,
boost.
Yeah, exactly. So they end up like, it's just really bad. It's very violent in the car, but this is like a performance-based traction control, so this is really nice.
And then up a hill, you can feel it.
Oh yeah. Still have the spool that turbo really easily uphill.
Yeah.
So what like you've probably driven this quite a bit, so you're quite familiar with it. What does this compare what we're feeling now to sort of on a dry road, optimum conditions, power-wise? You know, are we seeing just with the sticky tires and traction control, it's pretty similar, or is it like really another level once you get to the dry pavement?
Oh yeah, when you get to the dry, it's a completely other level.
It pulls much harder.
Oh yeah, it pulls really hard, and yeah, it's a night and day difference.
Awesome. That's really exciting. And have you taken this out on the track at all?
Oh yeah.
Which, like Willow Springs?
So we've had it at Streets of Willow. We've had it at Sonoma, up in Northern Cal. We've had it at Buttonwillow. We've had it at Speed Vegas. We've had it at Chandler, Arizona, which is Firebird, or it's also known as Bondurant.
Okay.
We've had it at autocrosses, so we've done the San Diego autocross, the Santa Anita autocross.
And are you driving all those, or you guys got
we have other
professional?
Drivers. We have professional drivers. We're all professional drivers. We do everything from Toyota Driving Academy, so we teach.
I didn't realize you guys had a school. Is that sort of? I saw the Porsche. I'm not from here, but I saw that the Porsche dealership had a track or something at one of their dealerships off I-110.
Off the 405.
405.
Yeah.
So then, is it a similar setup for Toyota then, or they sort of rent out a track for a day and have a track day?
Yeah, we rent out Texas Motor Speedway.
Texas Motor. Okay, so it's in Texas Motor Speedway.
It's in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Okay, so Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close to Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually looking to move back to Houston.
Oh, okay.
So that wouldn't be that bad of a drive.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we do a lot of stuff with Toyota special events. Maybe I can just go over here.
Oh, nice.
Wow, the parking lot fills up with...
I know. Seeing stock cars in here, and it's kind of much sadder. The Tesla's all right.
You know, the Teslas, I mean, they drive that, someone drives that in autocross, and it's amazing how well it does.
Yeah, it's heavy, but it's got so much torque.
And then
you don't have to worry about what gear you're in. Yeah. Like, you don't have to, no shifting, no nothing. And you have all the torque all the time. Like, I gotta wait for my turbo to spool up a bit.
My poor Andres, he's getting rained on.
Ah, fantastic.
Hope you like that.
Yeah, I did like it a lot. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It was a blast. I gotta try these in the dry sometime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would, especially at a racetrack near you, wherever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys typically? Is there like a website or something that?
DG Spec is our. We have a Facebook page and we do have a website. But if you look at DG Spec.
Okay, DG Spec.
Yeah, DG Spec.
That'll be.
Which is like, I don't know if I have the. You do the hashtag DG Spec.
Okay.
And then you can find us there.
Fantastic. Yeah, and then
we do have a website. And we also, we have two companies. We have Gardner Automotive Communication and DG Spec. DG Spec is the race wing of the company, and GAC is the communications part. So we do things like we write like scripts, and we do the whole SEMA thing for Toyota.
Ah, okay. So you guys are with SEMA as well. Like, do the SEMA
we do
show
the SEMA
and all
show.
that.
Yeah, we do the whole thing. So we do all the assets, and we generate the script that the vice president will use for the whole thing. And so we script it all out.
Fantastic.
We build the cars, some of the cars for the show, and it's a whole thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's the communication part, and the DG Spec's the race part. So our racing, everything we do with racing is the DG Spec.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I appreciate kind of the education and everything, and like I said, I'm excited to see one of these again.
Yeah, you get to drive one.
Yeah, for sure.
We would let people drive them, but unfortunately, our contract with Toyota is like, okay, you guys have to,
Yeah, I figure with the Cars and Coffee, you can't just let random people
just drive it. Oh man, can
especially
you
with the rain and everything. Like, you're gonna have people totaling these things.
Totaling it, and then or even if they get a ticket, and then it goes back to Toyota. What are you guys doing?
Right, exactly. Yeah, someone ran a red light. You're like, I can't stop them from the passenger seat. Like
speeding,
Or for sure. Yeah.
We first ride we passed, the CHP was going the other way, so luckily we were like.
Being maintained
8 miles over the limit or something.
Yeah, exactly.
We were okay.
Exactly.
We weren't at 100 miles an hour.
No, yeah. And the limit out here is high enough you can get a good feel for the car.
Exactly.
50 is not bad.
And then what you do is, because right now there's not a lot of cars, so you can get a lot of gap, and then you can just show, okay, this is how it accelerates. Without the wheels, like you said, without the wheel spin, but you still can put a lot of torque down.
Right, exactly. And because on that car, I have to have the traction control off if I don't want to damage the car.
Oh, you have RPF ones. you take that to the, so you have so that's the turbo version.
No, so that's a 3.8 actually.
3.8.
I put the turbo on it though, and built the engine, so it's got a 500 wheel horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah, so it really goes, but you can't have traction control if you want to drive it, because even if you wheel spin leaving a parking lot, it's a nightmare. It's like, it looks like you don't know how to use a clutch, right? It's just and so what ends up happening though is, like, because you can't do that in the rain, it's like you got to be super delicate, because if you just twitch on the throttle, you'll end up, you know, going sideways, and if you're not ready for it.
What tires do you have on it now?
Right now I have Sumitomos. I had Bridgestone Potenzas, and I wasn't really a fan of those.
Oh, really? The RE71Rs?
Yeah. Okay. And so I think probably going the Michelin Pilot. I thought they discontinued the Pilots. I thought they switched them to like the Cup 2s or something.
Oh, yeah.
The Michelin Pilot Super Sports.
Well, we still get these. These are they still make, these are brand new tire actually.
Oh, okay.
OE on this for this car.
Okay. So maybe that's I gotta find the Supra spec
Sports.
or something for the Super Sports. Yeah. Awesome.
Man, look at Tire Rack or somebody like that. But it's a good tire.
Yeah.
So really good tires.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to switch to them, and then I was reading that they were discontinued. I was like, ah, crap! If I'm gonna fall in love with a tire, and then it can't fall in love with it on the way out the door, you know?
Well, unless you can buy a bunch of them that are, you know, on closeout.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to get something that's like normally I'm running like 285, 295 wide on the rear.
Oh wow, with 500 horsepower, you're almost going to be always under tired in the rear.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm running out of room with the suspension to fit like a 305, or it's already sticking out 3/4 of an inch. So much further, I'm going to just end up with you know, scrubbing the suspension or looking like a mud thing, you know.
Bringing the tire out.
Yeah.
The fender.
So.
Wow.
But this thing's a lot more refined than my car, I have to say.
Yeah, your car looks like fun. It's a beautiful car, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's like an old race car. Old race cars, man, they just have like a lot of no nanny stuff, and
exactly.
It's all driver.
Exactly. It's like you turn it off, and it's got kind of like the old what is it? The SRT Vipers, where it was like no traction control, no stability control,
and a lot of
just
foot and control. Driver has all the control.
I don't have any control, so I try.
You take it to the track?
I haven't taken it to a track in California. I did a few drift events in Ohio and autocross in Ohio and Texas. Yeah. I did drag racing in Texas.
Oh wow.
I'm not the best on the launch. I was getting I think my best run was 13.0 at 117.
Wow.
On low boost.
That's still flying. Oh, it's not 500 horsepower.
No, that was at like 420.
Oh wow.
And so
that's up there, man.
Yeah, 13. So I'm thinking like, all right, like,
just, you know, if I do it all the time.
Yeah, if I get better tires and you know, better clutch release on it and launch control or something, then I'll probably be in the 11s. But
yeah.
Like, you know, trapping 117, you know, you're with full boost, I'll be in like 120, I'm guessing.
Wow,
so that other cars that have that are not all-wheel drive are getting in the 11s. So I see that the potential, just probably not with me in the driver's seat.
Well, it's just more practice. Yeah, it's like anything else. I mean, when you first do something, you don't like, how do I do this?
Fantastic, yeah.
Right, exactly. How do I do this? I mean, if I went drag racing, I've never been drag racing. I've had to do standing starts in races before, which are all a whole other story. But,
similar technique.
But similar technique. We just have to try to keep the wheel from spinning and just get into it a little bit slowly, you know. But you get so excited, you're like.
Yeah, you jump in a little bit, a little too much wheel spin. You're like, oh, damn it.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then you see people go. So
when people get it right, it's awesome to watch. You know, it's people with less power than you. You know, less weight.
And as a driver, it feels good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this is
You ride
great.
with some of the experienced people, and you've been driving for, you said professionally, but like you drive like racetracks professionally, or just?
Oh, I race. So I road race. I was a road racer. I didn't do any other kind of. I raced bicycles professionally, and then I raced cars. I didn't race for a living, but you know, we raced in professional series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I did road racing, no drag racing, no autocross, just road racing.
Just road racing.
Yeah.
And what's the good, like the best track? Let's say, kind of within the area. Like we just moved to San Pedro.
Oh, Pedro. Okay.
So like we don't really know the area. Like, what's the good track to go to for?
Well, there's a couple of them. The closest track is Willow Springs. Okay. Actually, the closest track is Cal Speedway, but
Is that kind of?
It's got. I mean, it's high speed. You go around the oval, and then you come into the infield, and then you do this infield part.
Kind of just squiggly, and then NASCAR.
And then you get back on there. I mean, some people like that.
Doesn't seem as technical then.
It's not as technical, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Willow, Streets of Willow. That's technical.
Now, is Willow Springs and Streets of Willow? Is there like two separate tracks, or are they all
two separate tracks? So when you come in the gate, the track that you see first, well, as the first track in front of you is the big track.
Okay.
Willow Springs International Raceway. Then, as you come in and past the drop down gates, then you wind your way around to the far north part of the property. That's when you start getting the streets, and then there's a mile, there's a dirt oval, and then there's a horse thief mile, and I wouldn't do horse thief mile, but streets is a nice one to do. Good, especially for car control and just a tighter track.
Okay, tighter, more technical, like a step up from autocross, basically, like low high speeds.
Definitely a step up, and then Willow is fast.
Okay.
As they call it, the fastest track in the West, and it is fast.
Okay.
It's got
a good long straight. You can really get up to speed.
Long straights, and there's long sweeper corners. I mean,
get a lot of speed. Okay, awesome.
A lot of speed there. And,
that might be a good place to see if I can top this thing out.
Yeah, that or Streets is fun. I think Streets is, for most people, Streets probably is more fun than the big track, unless you really just love speed.
Okay.
But you go through the corners, and some of them are blind. So I fly through the corner, and then as you crest it, you're looking, you go, man, you better have your line right, because as you crest and you see the edge of the track like this, and you're out of grip.
You can't judge your turn. Yeah.
If you don't have the grip, you fly off the track at 100 miles an hour. So, but you don't obviously do that the first lap.
Right.
Work up to that.
You got to learn the track first and know all the corners.
Exactly. And you know what? The funny thing is, there's YouTube videos. As a matter of fact, there's one from like 1965 that was done by Carroll Shelby. And it's actually a good primer for Willow Springs, even though it's changed. It's still a good primer for that course. How to take each corner there on the big tracks. I watched it because I watched the Ford versus Ferrari movie. And,
I haven't seen that yet.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, I've been stuck in my garage working on my other car. I got like a rally build thing going on. Wow. So it's been a nightmare.
I would see that movie.
Okay,
it's an excellent movie.
Fantastic. Anyway, I'll have to maybe tonight or something.
Carroll Shelby. He has Pete Brock talking about it, but it tells you how to take each corner there, and it's actually still good.
Fantastic.
Still the proper way
same like techniques and everything too.
Yeah.
And
even the track has changed since then a little bit, but all the things they talk about is the same. Is it still the same?
Am I holding you up? Sorry.
So Johnny Mac.
Yeah.
We have a plan. We have a plan for breakfast.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Sorry.
I didn't see Andre.
What you want to ask? As long as he's not talking about his dog or what he ate for dinner or whatever.
No, we're talking about Willow Springs. See there.
Okay.
Ah.
The car or no?
Oh yeah, loves the car.
Yeah.
He's gonna take it. He's gonna buy one and take it there.
Yeah, that's where it needs to go.
So yeah.
That's awesome. That car would be fast.
So, okay. Yeah,
Traction control works great.
Yeah.
Everything works great. Yeah. We didn't get to show how flat it stays in the corners, but
yeah,
right.
Still okay.
We do what we can do.
We do what we can do.
Yeah. The weather can't always work.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry to get you in trouble.
No. Anyway, it's nice chatting with you.
Yeah, same.
And good luck with your project.
With all the cars. Yeah.
And I'd find a track day and go and go
Willow Springs.
Just check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Streets. Go to Streets
The
first.
streets.
Just check it out and go have fun.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
You're
I appreciate
very
the rides, you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. See you at Willow, right? Yeah. The Genesis, the 500 horsepower Genesis, and then I've also got a 4G63 swapped Mini Cooper with all-wheel drive. Yeah. I took the DSM. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's a little flipped, but it's basically the same.
4G63 and a Cooper?
Yeah. And all-wheel drive converted, so it's got the good part, not just front-wheel drive.
That's crazy. Is that thing reliable?
More reliable than the Mini was. It leaks a little bit less oil. It's got about 400 horsepower once it's done. I think I read about one guy that had an Evo 4G63 Mini Cooper, and then I did the DSM Eclipse engine, so it's just Evo 1, 2, 3 basically.
Right.
Yeah, but it's I need to get it final tuned, but with the turbo and the camshafts and everything, it should be about 400 at the wheels.
So we saw something cool in Vegas when we were there, you know,
Mm-hmm.
around. An El Camino with a 2JZ.
That's a hilarious one.
So I mean, all sorts.
I wonder who owns that. Is that just like some random?
Let me show you what we did through our CHR. This CHR with a 2AZ, 600 horsepower, 2.4
Holy shit.
liter, 500 pounds of down. That's out of Willow Springs.
Damn.
So that's 24 pounds of boost.
And how much does it get it? Power?
600 horsepower.
600.
600 from a 2.4 2AZ swap, 5-speed manual.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, mine's running. Well, the Genesis run 12 pounds of boost with methanol injection. And it's also direct injected like the Supra.
Right.
But yeah, the Mini's just old school tech.
Sure.
It's just a 2 liter.
Well, it's the same. This is just a 3-bar fuel system with, you know, just a standard conventional deal, and it only has variable valve timing on the intake side. It's 2.4 liter, but it's built
Nice.
Manley rod, CP piston, Supertech valves.
Hell yeah.
Inconel exhausts.
That's awesome.
Clevite bearings.
Oh yeah, Clevite. That's pretty soft, right?
It is.
That's the one that
I don't
that
believe-
embeds,
I don't
right?
believe in the hard bearings. Like the ACL race bearing is the one that people use a lot.
That's the one I have in
But
the
I-
Genesis, but
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that stuff, depending on what you're trying to do.
just because it's gonna kill your crank if it
I think
spins.
that everything in the car needs to have some kind of fuse.
Mm-hmm. Well, you
The way
want
it
to
scuffs
protect
it,
the more
way it
important
scuffs
part.
it, Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like if your bearing fails, that's easy to fix, but if your crank fails, you need to get a whole new crank or recut it or something.
yeah.
That's awesome.
It's got a center force custom clutch in there with a low inertia steel flywheel. Took the gearbox apart. It's been REM micro polished, and then it was WPC micro shop peened, and then
Oh, wow.
cryo treated all the gears.
Oh,
3-part
damn.
process.
Holy crap, that's a
Put
lot.
Everything back together again.
Clear all the residual stresses and
Yep.
everything's
I'd
deburred
rather have the
and
gears be bigger. But I just needed the bell housing. All this was made up, and we
Oh,
fucked
yeah.
around with it because. So this we work with our.
But it's
buddies at
it's
Hopsport
5-speed, right?
to
You
do-
said?
Yeah.
Okay, so you sort of got the biggest gears you can at least fit in there compared to a 6-speed where you're
Honestly, the 6-speed would have had bigger gears.
really.
Yeah.
Usually they thin them out just to fit in the housings, like the
15%
Evos.
bigger there. The box to really put in here is called from the SW20, which was the MR2 turbo gearbox from
Ah,
93.
okay.
That thing has big ass gears.
Ah,
But
okay.
It's more design work. So we stuck with what would made up to the
Right.
2AZ.
That's fantastic, though.
2.4. So a lot of torque too. It's about 580 foot-pounds.
Jeez. And this is the car
monster.
you worked on, or you got like a team that
built
helps
it.
you out?
Yeah,
All
the
three of you
team.
guys?
Well,
Oh,
no,
you
there's
guys are the team. I don't know how the
there's a bunch of guys.
organization's structured
A
here.
bunch of guys, yeah.
Bunch of guys. That's fantastic. That's a lot of
So
fun.
then we do this is our Camaro killing minivan we built here.
That's just like a
Yeah.
troll machine. That's awesome.
And then these were our TCs when we raced in World Challenge in St. Petersburg. Watkins
Fantastic.
Glen.
These weren't the ones that were converted to rear-wheel drive,
No,
right?
These are front-wheel drive touring cars, TRD supercharged.
Oh, nice.
So these are about
Fantastic.
14 pounds of boost.
That's awesome.
At 12 to 14, somewhere around there.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
You guys do
lots-
some cool
lots of
cars,
crazy
man.
Stuff, yeah.
Holy shit.
But it's cool that you did that to the Mini.
Yeah. Well, you guys come out
I'll give
every
you a
Cars
car,
and
drop me a
Coffee,
line.
or is it just?
No, we were supposed to be at California Speedway, but they canceled the event due to weather. And so we had to find something else to do.
Fantastic.
So, stay in touch. I'd like to see pictures of your car.
Yeah, I can send them. You guys got Instagram or?
We do. It's not really used very much. It's on Facebook.
I got a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you can email me.
Yeah, I can send you an email.
So I can see. But yeah, please give me the Facebook's a lot more.
You want me just to email attachments to the photos, or just
Link or send me where they are.
the link or something? Okay.
Take a look. And see.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll let you guys get some food. I know you guys are hungry.
Problem.
Sorry, man.
No worries, man.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Supra, see?
Yeah, I know, right?
All right.
Take it easy, y'all. Thank you. Oh, I wasn't sure if you